Hello again, this is Aiden Warren with Community Feedback Resolution here. This one's going to be probably a short one, and it's going to be about how people are complaining pretty much when Amazon Fury Alert came out, and now with the new power alerts, people are complaining that they all have too much health. Well, how can people say that if they don't learn the history of the game, of the content? It's always been like that since Tier 2. How cannot people not comprehend or even learn that? It's just how the content always has been like this. Why players are complaining like this? Because these new players that are coming into the game are skipping content. So they have no learning or experience whatsoever. They're coming into the game and they're skipping content. They're hardly done much of the content. They're probably just gaining marks and getting the higher gear that they can grab. Throw mods in there to get the max CR, and they just pretty much grind out. But they don't grind out the content, that you go in with the going gear. What they do is they try to go out and they look to grab strongest players to help them speed level them through content and just kill everything for them. And it's just this how new players want to do. So they're not going to gain any experience. In their minds, they have no real knowledge or learning ability to how the gear system works, the mods, and the stats. So they're going in with low gear. They're going to grab a player with super high, strong gear and probably kill the bosses in 5 hits. They're going to think that's the actual health. Or they're thinking that the health is based on how many players are in the content. It's just weird how their mind works. So try going into Fortress of Solitude raids with the full set of tier 3 gear with tier 3 mods and with only 120 skill points spent. See how much health those bosses have. The people not understand when the raids were introduced at that time with that going gear, do they not realize that the health was a lot based on how lower that gear was and the stats? They're just coming into the game, skip all that, and thinking that the newest tier has too much health. It does not make sense. This is what happens when new players just want to skip everything and try to go straight for the highest stuff. Speed leveling them. This is why veteran players are annoyed by these new players. They're annoyed how new players skip content and ends up in a group with veteran players. Veteran players don't have time for these new players going in super undergeared. The gear and combat rating has nothing to do with each other. You can have super low gear, but you can fill up with super high mods and get your combat rating up to the point where you can enter that high content. Players don't have time for that. Old timers don't have time for new players skipping all that content, and they're annoyed by new players screwing up everything. New players need to grab the gear in the order that you get it, mod them, play each tier content with that appropriate gear level, and get the experience so you can go into the higher tier content. That way new players, older long time players won't be so hard on you new players. You new players going around complaining that you're being picked on and being kicked out of groups all the time, but that's because you're skipping too much. Play the content like it's supposed to be. Maybe you get a little bit of skill where they're going to actually ask you next time, hey, you're a good player. You mind helping us again? Simple. I just think that you new players need to relax. There's no rush in this game whatsoever. There's no rush to get the highest level gear. Play at least 3 hours a day. There's no rush. Play the game, listen to people, gain experience, learn. And if you don't feel like talking, go on websites, look up Google, Look up walkthroughs, look up YouTube videos, spend time learning instead of just going there and getting kicked out of groups. The health is the way it always has been. You're complaining about something that's been in the game since the beginning. Think about it. Once you grab a full set of 93 gear, you grab a full set of 94 gear. Look at the gear that's introduced into the game. Level 94. Okay, now what do you think is going to happen when you get the full set of 94 gear? The more players that have a full set 94, the more damage they can do, and the more damage they can do, the faster their health goes down. It's just that simple. How do you think how hard Prime was? How do you think how hard Vengeance and Black Dawn was? It's just that simple for you people to comprehend. Skill points. Also, the problem with you new players, if you're complaining so much that they have a lot of health, the one big problem that you people liking, grabbing skill points. Okay, go back, get those skill points, increase your stats, and see a big difference on your damage. Big difference on your heals, big difference on your power out. You go in there with new content, think you got the highest level gear in the game and the highest level mods, with super low skill points, it ain't gonna work. It may work, but it depends on how skilled the group is to work with each other. But just let your people know, these new players know for a fact that the high health has always been like this. It's simple. Go back to Fortress of Solitude, go in there with full set of tier 3 gear, and try and do it. That's all I have to say. I'm out for now.